Welcome to my channel. Simply Speak English. My name is Hazel, and I am 19 years old. What if I told you that fluency in any language is not as far away as you think? What if I told you that the secret to speaking confidently, to understanding and being understood, could be unlocked in just 5 minutes a day? Would you believe me? Imagine being able to walk into a room and speak a language with ease, without the fear of making mistakes. Picture yourself traveling to a foreign country and striking up conversations with locals, effortlessly connecting with people from different cultures. How would that feel? I'm sure you've heard people say that becoming fluent in a language is a long, hard process. You might have tried before books, apps, language classes, but somehow you never seem to reach that level of fluency. Why does it feel like you've put in so much time and effort, but still the words don't flow? What if I told you that the secret doesn't lie in endless hours of study or complicated grammar rules? What if I told you that fluency can be achieved in just 5 minutes a day? That's right, 5 minutes. Now, you might be thinking, how could 5 minutes possibly make a difference? And I get it. It sounds too good to be true, but I promise you, it isn't. What if I told you that a small shift in how you practice, in how you approach learning, could transform the way you communicate? Are you curious to know how? Then, stay with me, because the answer might just surprise you. The importance of fluency. Fluency in a language is one of the most powerful tools you can have. It opens doors to a world of opportunities, doors that are often closed when you don't speak the language of the people around you. Whether it's for travel, for a job, or even in personal relationships, language is the key to connection. Think about it. How many times have you felt frustrated because you couldn't express yourself the way you wanted to? How many times have you wished you could just have a natural conversation without stumbling over words or losing track of your thoughts? Being fluent in a language doesn't just mean knowing how to speak. It means you can communicate freely, confidently, and with ease. It means you can understand others, and they can understand you. This level of understanding and connection is priceless. It goes beyond the practical, yes. Fluency can help you get a job, travel, and make new friends, but it's also deeply emotional. Have you ever been in a situation where someone said something in a language you didn't understand, and you felt left out, or worse, misunderstood? Fluency isn't just about knowing words, it's about knowing the heart behind those words. It's about being able to express yourself without hesitation, to connect with others on a deeper level, and to feel truly understood. The power of being fluent is not just practical, it's personal. It gives you confidence. It gives you freedom. Imagine being able to confidently order food in a foreign country, or explain your thoughts during a business meeting in a different language. Fluency can make all the difference in the way you interact with the world. Why you should listen. By now, You might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. If fluency is so important, why hasn't anyone else shared this secret with me? Well, that's exactly why you should listen. Because this is the part where I break the myth. You see, most people approach language learning the wrong way. We've all been told that learning a language takes years of dedication, constant memorization, and rigorous study. But what if I told you that the typical method isn't the only way? The reason you've struggled in the past isn't because you lack talent or intelligence. It's not because you can't learn a language. It's because traditional methods are often overwhelming, exhausting, and, quite frankly, inefficient. You don't need to memorize thousands of words or spend hours in a classroom to become fluent. The truth is, the more you try to force yourself to study for hours, the more likely you are to give up before you see any real progress. That's where the magic of Fluent in 5 minutes a day comes in. This method is different because it isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right thing consistently over time. I'll tell you why this works in a moment. But for now, think about it. What would your life look like if you could get just a little bit better every day? If you could see improvements, even in small 5-minute chunks of time? If you could do just 5 minutes a day, imagine how much progress you could make over weeks and months. It's the little things that add up. Those 5-minute sessions will compound over time and bring you closer to fluency than you ever thought possible. This isn't about cramming or overwhelming yourself with information. It's about making language a daily habit, integrating it into your life, and making it fun. The power of small habits. At this point, you might be wondering, how does 5 minutes a day really make a difference? Well, let's talk about the science behind it. Research shows that small, consistent habits are far more effective than trying to cram large amounts of information into a single sitting. When you learn in small, manageable chunks, your brain has time to process and retain the information. This is known as spaced repetition. It's how our brain best learns and remembers things. Let's use a simple example. Think about how you learned to walk. You didn't learn it in a single day. You practiced every day, and over time, your muscles strengthened, your coordination improved, and before you knew it, you were walking without thinking about it. Language learning is much the same. It's not about cramming everything at once. It's about repetition, practice, and letting the language settle in naturally. The beauty of small habits is that they're sustainable. If you commit to just 5 minutes a day, you're more likely to stick with it. You're not setting yourself up for failure by trying to learn for hours on end. You're setting yourself up for success, one small step at a time. Consider this: if you spent just 5 minutes a day practicing a language for a year. You would have invested over 30 hours in that language. Imagine how much progress you could make with that amount of time, all broken down into small, manageable chunks. The key is consistency. Over time, those small daily actions will build a foundation of fluency. Now, Let's talk about how you can actually implement this. How can 5 minutes a day lead to fluency? The key is making those 5 minutes count. It's not about mindlessly repeating words or phrases. It's about engaging with the language in a way that's meaningful and enjoyable. One powerful way to do this is through active learning. This means using the language in real, meaningful contexts. You don't need to sit in a classroom or memorize vocabulary lists. Instead, try to incorporate the language into your daily life in small ways. For example, you can watch a short video in the language you're learning, or try to write a few sentences about your day. Practice speaking to yourself, even if you're alone. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Another effective technique is using language apps or flashcards that focus on practical vocabulary and phrases. This helps you build your language skills quickly and effectively. But again, the key is consistency. Practice every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Over time, this will become second nature. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't require a lot of time or effort. Just 5 minutes a day, every single day, is enough to see significant improvement. It's about creating a habit, not overwhelming yourself with too much at once. Imagine for a moment that you are in a bustling market in Spain, the air filled with the sounds of people laughing and chatting in Spanish. You walk up to a vendor, and without hesitation, you start a conversation. You ask about the local produce, you joke about the weather, and you feel the warmth of the interaction as the vendor smiles and responds in kind. There's no anxiety, no fear of making mistakes. You're speaking in their language. Something that was once an intimidating barrier now feels like a bridge to connection. This isn't just about words, it's about human connection. Language opens doors to new worlds, and it's not just the language itself, but the people you meet along the way that make the journey worthwhile. I've spoken to countless people who've transformed their lives simply by learning to speak another language. Take Anna, for example, a woman who had always dreamt of traveling the world. She was often too shy to speak with locals, afraid of her accent or getting a word wrong, but she decided to take the leap and try the Fluent in 5 minutes a day method. Within weeks, she found herself chatting with strangers in cafes, making new friends from all corners of the globe, and even finding a job abroad that she never thought was possible. Then there's Omar, a man who struggled with self-confidence. He was born and raised in an immigrant community, but the fear of speaking English held him back from getting the job he wanted and feeling part of his new community. By dedicating just 5 minutes a day to learning English, he started seeing a shift in how others perceived him and, more importantly, how he saw himself. Little by little, he gained the confidence to speak up in meetings and interact with people he would have once avoided. And the transformation wasn't just professional, it was personal. Omar felt a new sense of belonging, something that had eluded him for years. The power of connecting with others in their own language is profound. It's not just about making small talk. It's about truly belonging. It's about experiencing the world in a way that is more fulfilling, more connected, and more authentic. The joy that comes with understanding others and being understood is something that stays with you long after the conversation ends. This is the kind of growth that comes from language learning, a growth that extends beyond vocabulary and grammar. It's about growing as a person, opening your heart to new cultures, and expanding your understanding of the world around you. Think about your own dreams for a moment. What do you want to accomplish in life? What are your goals, your aspirations? Whether you dream of traveling to distant countries, working in an international career, or building connections with people from all walks of life, learning a language can bring those dreams closer to reality. You might have goals that feel just out of reach because language has been a barrier. But what if you could break down that barrier? What if you could open new doors for yourself by simply taking 5 minutes each day to practice? Learning a language is not just about acquiring new vocabulary or mastering grammar rules. It's about building bridges to the life you've always wanted to live. Think about how different your experiences will be when you can speak to people in their language, when you can understand the nuances of their culture and express your own thoughts in a way that resonates with them. Every time you pick up a new language, you're not just learning words, you're learning to think differently. You're gaining new perspectives, new ways of seeing the world. Language learning is a doorway to transformation, personal growth, new friendships, and opportunities that were once unimaginable. It's not just about mastering a set of skills. It's about becoming someone who can connect with others, no matter where they come from or what language they speak. And when you do, you'll realize that the world isn't as big as it once seemed. Imagine the memories you'll make, the friends you'll meet, the adventures you'll embark on. Imagine being able to share a meal with someone in their language, telling stories that make them laugh, and listening to their experiences with an open heart. These are the moments that make life rich, and they all start with a simple commitment to learn. Now, let's break it down into actionable steps that will help you get started on this journey of language learning, all in just 5 minutes a day. First, start by setting a small, achievable goal. Your goal doesn't need to be grand. Don't try to memorize an entire textbook in 1 week. Instead, aim to learn 5 new words or phrases each day. Try to use them in real situations, whether by speaking to yourself or writing them down in a journal. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. Next, try using language apps that emphasize practical vocabulary, something that will immediately help you in real-life situations. There are countless apps out there that offer bite-sized lessons you can do in 5 minutes. These apps often have interactive features, such as quizzes and games, that make learning fun and engaging. Another idea is to practice listening for just 5 minutes a day. Watch a short video, a song, or a podcast in the language you're learning. This will help you get used to the rhythm and flow of the language. Even if you don't understand everything at first, your brain will start recognizing patterns and you'll gradually build comprehension skills. Lastly, make it a habit to practice speaking for 5 minutes. You don't need a conversation partner to start talk to yourself. Describe what you see around you. Say what you did during the day, or read out loud from a book or article. Over time, your confidence will grow, and you'll begin to speak with ease. It's all about repetition and consistency. If you make language practice a daily habit, even if it's just for 5 minutes, you'll be amazed at how quickly you improve. This method isn't about forcing yourself into hours of study. It's about creating a manageable routine that fits into your 7 life and sticking with it. As you embark on this journey, remember that every small step counts. Don't be discouraged by the bumps along the way. Language learning is not always a smooth path, but each time you push through a challenge, you'll be that much closer to fluency. Celebrate the small victories when you can order a coffee in your new language, when you understand a conversation without needing a translation, when you realize that the words flow more easily than they did yesterday. These moments matter. They are signs of your progress, and they should be celebrated. Imagine a year from now looking back at where you started. The language that once seemed so intimidating will feel like second nature. You'll be able to speak freely, connect with others effortlessly, and feel at home in places where you once felt like an outsider. This is the power of consistency. This is the magic of dedicating just 5 minutes a day to your goal. Fluency isn't just a skill. It's a gateway to a life filled with richer experiences, deeper connections, and greater opportunities. With every word you learn, you are shaping the future you want. And all it takes is 5 minutes a day to get started. Closing with a hook. As you take your first steps toward fluency, remember this: the world is waiting for you. Every conversation, every new word, every interaction is a chance to grow, to connect, and to belong. You are capable of more than you know, and by committing just 5 minutes a day, you can change your life in ways you never thought possible. So don't wait. Start today. Take those 5 minutes and invest in yourself. If you're already on your language learning journey, share your story with others, your progress, your challenges, your wins. Together, we can inspire each other. And if you haven't started yet, take a deep breath. Set a timer for 5 minutes and go for it. I believe in you, and I'm here to cheer you on every step of the way. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips, more inspiration, and more stories from people just like you. The journey to fluency starts now. What are you waiting for?